Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Guys, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Those of you who are listening on Rock Rage on Sunday morning, wake the hell up and get your ass to frickin' church. Because if you're listening to Rock Rage, you're probably the kind of person who needs to go to church.
You got that right.
I'll buy that for $1.
Sure, got that right.
Anyway, so it is Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, brought to you by Rock Rage Radio, rockrageradio.com. Download the free app or listen right there at the website. Please check out music from the 412.com. That is a great website for Pittsburgh-based entertainment, talk and discussion and all that happy stuff. And please come and hang out with us at loulombardi.com/inner circle. Because that is our Facebook group.
Yes.
So we're going to get into a whole bunch of fun stuff tonight. We're going to be talking about Eddie Van Halen.
The King!
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about the Plasmatics.
The Kings and Queens!
We're going to be talking about the Kentucky Headhunters.
Oh, cool.
How the CIA used music to do all kind of CIA nonsense around the planet. It is the Halloween season, so we're going to do a featured segment on It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie
Oh,
Brown.
cool. A classic.
Some facts you may not know about that, so we're going to be getting into that in a couple minutes. Mr. Pittsburgh is in the room.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Pittsburgh's in the house tonight.
Yeah, I am, buddy.
So, anyways, welcome, everybody. As usual, the show is broken up into two segments. And those of you that are listening on Rock Rage Radio, stick around because when we end the first segment, we come back and we're going to play a whole bunch of music, some mostly newer rock.
Right.
So stick around for that. Mr. Pittsburgh.
Mr. Loudini.
What, Mr. Well, first of all,
yes,
you did have a pretty big event this week.
That's right, Loudini. Where are you at? There you are.
Yesterday, I swear to God, it was just yesterday. You remember that? It was just yesterday.
It seems like yesterday, which seems like it was just yesterday.
Was my, dig this, folks, 60th. That's the big 60. 60th birthday. So I am officially an old man now.
Sexy at 60.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, the big 60, man, and I feel every minute of it. But yeah. Just celebrated my birthday. I'm still alive. That's always a bonus, I guess. But, so celebrated the big 60.
We had a couple drinks on Saturday night to
we did.
sort of inaugurate
the
the situation. Yeah.
They made me feel funny, Lou.
I know.
Good thing I don't have very far to go home.
I know. Good thing for you.
It still took me a half hour to find my
next door. No, that was a lot of fun, man.
Oh, good.
The bonus of living next door to your best friend in the whole wide world. You can just come over anytime.
He said come.
I'll say come anytime. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for inviting me over.
No problem. See. So, okay. What did you get up to this week, other than your birthday?
Well, let me tell you something. Hey, Lou, Yins know me, right?
I know you.
I'm on the TikTok here, Lou. I'm on the TikTok.
Mr. Pittsburgh is on the TikTok.
I am at Pittsburgh Kevin on the TikTok. Go look for me. But anyway, listen to this. So I do my little TikToks with my guitars, and I play through a little. It's maybe about a 35, not even 35, like a 30-watt positive grid Spark amp, and I just do little music stuff, and I tell stories and stuff. Oh, it's such a blast. Well, for my birthday, I decided we're going all out. And I have a Fender Frontman 212R 100-watt combo. Oh, my God.
100 watts.
Oh, my God. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a TikTok, and I'm going to play my guitar through that.
You should definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely. So I hooked up the camera on my phone on top of the old amplifier there, and I said, okay, let's give her a go, and started, hitting some power chords, and I looked over, and my phone's gone. I said, what the hell? And then it dawned on me that the amp was vibrating so much that it literally...
Wait a minute, you didn't set the camera on the amplifier you were playing through.
No, Lou, you think I'm stupid? I set it on top of the amplifier that was on top of the amplifier. And it literally vibrated off and flipped behind. And it was so perfect, too, because when it flipped behind, the lens was focused right on Fender.
Yeah.
It was very
like
cool.
You planned that. Yeah,
I
did
know.
see it, yeah.
And I didn't realize that until after I got the phone back. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But, lesson learned, Lou. Do not set your camera or phone on top of the amplifier. And it was only on 2, and it was shaking the walls. 100 watts is a lot of power there, Lou. But I thought that was really funny. So I learned a little lesson there about camera placement.
My question for you is,
yes.
When you do, I didn't mean to ask you this.
Yeah.
When you do the TikTok,
I do have pants on.
Oh, stop.
Oh, sorry.
Do you record onto your phone and then upload it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I never dude, you may find this hard to believe. I'm not perfect. And you know how many takes sometimes it takes to get a fairly decent... Yeah, there's sometimes... And then after I upload one that I like, I have to go back into my gallery and delete like 20 videos
right.
where I hit a wrong note.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody does that. That's not a big deal. But
yeah.
I was just wondering because it looks like you have the option... to record directly to TikTok, but not necessarily do live.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I was asking.
No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, because I will screw it up, and I do screw it up all the time. So, but it's a lot of fun. It's just very weird because they keep changing the algorithms. I heard one guy talking about his friend telling him, "I hate TikTok because all it is like big muscular men." And drag queens and stuff like that. And I just hate that. And his buddy's like, that's your algorithm, dude. There's a reason why that's showing
Well,
up.
here's the problem, though. It doesn't take much. And Facebook Reels does the same thing to you.
Yeah.
You linger on something too long, and before you know it, it's just like your feed is... sometimes like what happens is, you're like, what? You don't get for a second like what you're looking at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And now, oh, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now I've got hundreds of baseball. Like every time I'm like, oh, what's this going to be? Is the guy going to get hit by the baseball or home run or whatever? Now I've got all kind of baseball stuff. And I'm like, no, TikTok, I'm not. I just wanted to see what happened with this. Yeah. So, but the algorithm's all weird. Like one video will have 1,000, 1,200 views, and the very next one will have 4. And I'm like, what? What? That's what I say, Lou. But anyway, it's fun. It's a nice little outlet. But, yeah. Camera placement is important, folks. Hey, Loudini, what Ian's been up to in that?
Nothing really. I ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm just kidding. So this is interesting. We could have done this in the our film corner. Did you watch any movies? I didn't put any.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch
so I got a couple later.
Okay,
but
cool.
I could have put this in film corner. Well, maybe. But anyways, we'll talk about this. So we've talked about the movie many times, Back to the Future. And Back to the Future has great music in it. It's soundtrack by Huey Lewis and the News, and there's that great scene where they play Johnny B. Good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But there is another musical section in there that a lot of people forget about, and that is where he puts on the hazmat suit,
right,
and puts the headphones on his dad,
right,
and the cassette tape that he puts in the Walkman. Do you know what it says on the cassette tape?
Yes, I do, because I thought it was a little strange. It says Edward Van Halen.
Edward Van Halen.
Not Van Halen, yeah.
Right. So there was for years, there has been debate about what in the world is that? Exactly. Is that actually...
that piece of music?
Eddie Van Halen.
Right.
Or, is it just like Eddie Van Halen-esque? So for some reason, and I can't remember what it was, they could not use Van Halen. They
Right.
had to use Edward Van Halen.
Yeah.
And so the channel stageleftsounds did a kind of investigative documentary on this. And it turns out that that many years ago, before that movie came out, a few years before, Eddie Van Halen scored a film soundtrack for a movie that his wife produced.
Okay.
Called The Wildlife. It was like
yes, I have it.
Teen sex comedy.
Yes.
And it's got music by Eddie Van Halen. And that is a snippet of something from that.
Oh.
And that's exactly what that is.
Interesting.
Because they wanted, I think they actually wanted to get like an actual Van Halen song for that, but for some reason Zemeckis couldn't. Like, I don't know. You know how you have to
Couldn't
license.
quite get the
you know what I mean?
rights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean. So, but that actually is, and I didn't know for years. Like, I would see that, and like I would think for a second, is that actually Eddie Van Halen? And then like the movie would go on, and I forgot about it.
Right.
You know, I just didn't really think too much into it. But there are Van Halen maniacs out there that like. There's an entire channel on YouTube, and I can't remember the name of it. It might be called Eddie Van Halen's Rig or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's dedicated to getting Eddie Van Halen's sound. I mean, he's got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of videos all about the Variac, system and all that. So this Stage Left Sounds, that he did that. Because you listen to this piece of music, he broke it down and listen to it closely, indeed. Because in the movie, you get like
just a snippet.
You get a real
of it, yeah.
snippet, and you just get a snippet. Also, you're watching the movie, and you're caught up in kind of the humor because it's funny. And this is Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan or whatever.
Yes.
Say something crazy. And so this cat like really gets into it and sort of shows how he thinks Eddie made the sounds on it, because it sounds like it might be slide at one point. And
Right.
a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So he kind of does his sort of like interpretation of what he thinks. It's very interesting for you
cool.
Van Halen nerds out there. I think you should definitely go and check that out.
Yeah. I can remember seeing that in the theaters and going, why does it say Edward Van Halen and not Van Halen? And then, like you said, the music plays, and I'm like, I know a lot of Van Halen music. That's none of their songs.
Well, a lot of people did the same thing. They were like, wait a minute, I got like every Van Halen album in the world I've got. You know what I mean? Like that. What the F is that? You know? Kind of cool.
And the soundtrack to Wildlife is, like I said, it took me years to find it on DVD, and I think I actually have kind of like a burned copy of it, but I at least have it. And the soundtrack's, it's Eddie. It's totally Eddie. It's a great soundtrack. So yeah, I'll have to go back and listen
he
to
talks about the soundtrack on there, and there are bits that are borrowed actually, or became Van Halen songs.
Yes, the one where David Lee Roth came back.
Okay.
One of the songs I can't. Is it Stay Thirsty? I can't remember. But as soon as the song started playing, I'm like, that's that song from Wildlife. And I'm like, and it.
He like worked it up into like a full Van Halen
Yeah, but
thing.
it just like the lyrics and the vocal part just didn't really fit the song. Maybe because my brain still remembered it from the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But interesting, sir.
What do you got?
Hey Lou. Now you and I both have cats, and I would say we'd own cats or whatever. No, the cats own you. So my cat is a little jagoff. My cat's 19 years old. 19 years old, right? And she's a little jerk. Now here's Lou. Can you keep your secret?
No.
Oh, okay. Next subject. No. So I'm really not supposed to have pets in my apartment, Lou. Shh. So recently, I needed some work done in the apartment, and the cat had to be spirited away, and stayed with one of my kids while the work was being done. Then the cat came back, right? So it's hush, hush. Don't tell nobody you got a cat, okay? So today, it was yesterday. It might have been yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. The landlord came to put our storm doors in.
Lord of the land.
He is the Lord of the land. Nice guy. And he came to put the storm doors in our screen doors, make the exchange for winter. And so he's outside of my closed front door.
He sees the cat.
No, that little fucker. That's right, I said it. Is my cat is at the front door looking up going, meow. Yeah. Like, shut up! Are you trying to get kicked out of here? So I pushed her way into the bedroom like, shut up. Yeah, that cat of mine. Anybody wanted an old cat? Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. But I'll say this: about 2 weeks ago, she got deathly sick, and I'm like, oh my god! And for as much as I dog this cat out, see what I did there, and how I claim that I really she irks me and she's annoying and stuff. I was actually worried, and it was just a horrible day. But thankfully, she bounced back and. She's still with us, Lou. Back to you, Loudini. You know that guy on Reverb? Did you ever see the guy on YouTube who talks about the funny Reverb or the crazy Reverb postings?
Yeah, Fluff.
Yeah.
Riff Beards and whatever.
Yeah.
Cigars.
I watch him just to have him in between segments go. I think there's something in my iced tea. I think there's something in my iced tea that I'm drinking. Anyway, back to you.
So, there's a cool video on Rock and Roll True Stories. I like that channel. I try to promote channels on here that are actual real presenters doing the thing as opposed to the AI. There's so much AI slop out there. Yes, it's really freaking annoying. But he did a retrospective this week on the Kentucky Headhunters. It was a request by one of his Patreon people or something like that. It's really good. I put a link to it in the show notes. Rock and Roll True Stories, story of the Kentucky Headhunters. Highly recommend that you check it out. But they're an American Southern rock band. They're from Edmonton, Kentucky. Go figure, right? Doug Phelps on bass, Greg Martin on lead guitar, the brothers Richard Young and Fred Young on rhythm guitar and drums. Martin and the Young brothers began performing in '68 as Itchy Brother.
Okay.
They also said they've had different members, kind of come and go. And the band Itchy Brother was one of these bands that had one of these and so many people, and that people around Pittsburgh and stuff that had this story where we were getting signed and the whole thing, and then it all fell apart. They were signed to Swan Song, Led Zeppelin's label.
Oh wow, okay.
And then John Bonham died, and that was the end of Swan Song.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They, so the guys sort of kind of different, it was a little bit of a revolving door for a while and everything. But they ended up playing a showcase, and I can't remember if it was in L.A. or Nashville. And the A&R guy came to hear another band.
Right.
He wasn't interested in the Kentucky Headhunters. They were originally called the Headhunters, but there was another band called the Headhunters, and to avoid any kind of... They just changed it.
The new originals.
They're the new originals. They added it. So the dude came to see another band, but he was really he really thought that these guys had a great presentation. They had a unique sound. They really rode the line in a really good way between rock and country in a lot of ways that other bands didn't do as well. So in other words, they became Leonard Skinner for CMT.
Right.
Right. I don't really think DVE played them. I don't know. I don't really think they did, but the country stations played them.
Oh yeah.
And it was for as rockin' as their sound is, it was kind of interesting that country music kind of embraced them. They don't have any fiddle. They don't have any pedal steel. They don't do any of that.
It's they're rock and roll.
Yeah, they're like a rock band that plays country songs. Some of their biggest hits were covers of classic country songs like "Oh Lonesome Me" and "Walk Softly on This Heart of Mine." Their debut album was called "Pickin' on Nashville." They were signed by Mercury Records. So the guy that signed them was like, "Look, Like he's like, I might be, flipping burgers in a year
Right.
after this
Yep.
because I have no idea like how this is going. But it blew up. People really took to them. They have a really unique sound, and it was the kind of thing that like people would like rock out to, and then people would also line dance to. It was really interesting how they were able to, without really kind of compromising their sound. They played the music that they like to play in the way that they like to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Walk Softly on This Heart of Mine. Oh Lonesome Me, Dumas Walker, Rock and Roll Angel. They were all charted. They all hit the top 40. They won a Grammy Award for Best Country Performance by Duo or Group in 1991.
All right.
Let's see here. They produced it. It was self-produced. They produced it themselves. They didn't bring in. There was no,
They were ahead of their time.
no additional
Yeah.
people. Richard Rapani stepped in and did add a little Hammond B3 on Oh Lonesome Me. But that was pretty much it. It's Greg Martin, Doug Phelps, Ricky Lee Phelps, Fred Young, and Richard Young. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I do remember them. I don't know how I first heard of them. Like you said, like DVE really didn't play them. That's
I don't think that they
Pittsburgh
did, but
radio station.
Yeah, they did. They were a DS. I think they played on like DSY.
Yeah.
I don't think that they really made the rock scene. I knew them because at the time, and when they came out in the late 80s, I was playing with a country band called Nadine and the Dusty Rose Band, and we did Walk Softly on This Heart of Mine. We covered that.
Okay, then.
And
Alrighty, then.
so I got to, I bought their album, Pickin' on Nashville. I bought it on cassette.
Because
You see, kids, back in the day.
Yep, I bought it on cassette. I probably
this
don't
thing's
still
called
have it.
cassettes.
I might. I have one box back there in storage of cassettes.
really?
It's it might be in there. It might be in there. I liked it. I thought they were a really cool band.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed their. It was funny because a lot of my rock and roll friends could not get into it. I would try to play it for friends of mine, and they were like, "Yeah, no, well, I'm not really." Let's listen to Queen's Reich. Okay, which I like too. But
Sure.
You know,
Yes.
speaking of formats, I wanted to talk about this real quick before we move on.
Sure.
John Fox sent this to me. John is a great musician. He plays with a band in Pittsburgh called Glitz. He's a great guitar player.
Yeah.
He's a good voice. And he sent me a song that he wrote. It's on a fucking CD, John. And I don't have a CD player hooked up to anything. I would love to play it.
Send it on a reel-to-reel next
So
time.
what I'm going to have to do is like somehow burn it down, get it on an MP3 file or something. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
man.
I wanted to play it. It is a Halloween song. So you might hear it after Halloween.
Halloween,
you know,
yeah.
But it's called Mr. Munster.
Oh.
And he like typed up the lyrics and sent them to me and everything.
Yeah?
This came in the mail end of last week.
CD.
It is really a cool song, and so I will play it for you guys. But I wanted to mention it.
There it is.
John Fox from Glitz, great musician, super cool dude, and I will definitely I gotta find some way to get that on
Right.
MP3 or something.
I want to hear it now.
Yeah, so we can play it.
Very cool.
Next week. But I do have the vehicle that I'm driving right now has a CD player in it.
Okay, so that's...
I
Yes.
did crank it up a couple
I'll
times.
have to take it out to my Toyota. Put it in my
That's
CD
cool.
player.
That's cool. Yeah, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I can play this in my car.
There you go.
But yeah, so John, thank you, buddy. We will go ahead and get
Looking
that.
forward to hearing
We will
that.
go ahead and get that on some format that the folks, that the kids can hear. We can play for them. So. What do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
Now, speaking of cars there, Lou,
Yeah,
as you
cars.
as you know quite well, my current vehicle is it's terminal, and I still have a couple of months to find something new. So I've been saving money, Lou. Something new for me. I've been saving money, so I've got a couple of bucks set aside. And Lou, you know what happens when we get money set aside? Gas. That's right. Gear acquisition syndrome. kicks in, and I find myself on Craigslist, and hey, Lou, I'm just looking. Lou. I'm on Marketplace. I'm just looking, Lou. Lou, I'm just looking. Lou, the universe hates me.
No.
Yes, Lou.
No.
Yes, Lou.
No.
Ever since you let me borrow your gold top, I've had this hankering for a gold top, and I'm like,
I know we can buy one.
I bet you do. But anyway, so I find this Epiphone gold top on Marketplace, and it's got all the bells and whistles. It's a Trad Pro, and it's got the coil taps and the zebra pickups inside. It's a beautiful guitar, right? $375. Now, Lou, that's a pretty good deal. It's in beautiful condition. I'm like, $375. Let's see, if I buy that, I still have a couple more months. I could like still save up a little more money and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, Kevin, adult. You need to be adulting here, and no. So I talked myself out of it. What's the universe do? This morning went on Marketplace. It's now $300. Mother, ooh! And I had to do this. It was a lot harder this time. I had to do some more adulting.
You fed hard.
And I said adulting. It's terrible. And the guy's right in Dormont, too. It's not far from us, so it's not like I have to drive to Wellsburg, Ohio, or something like that. And I'm like, no, Pittsburgh, Kevin. Ian's got to remember, you need a new car. But, yeah, why does it... Watch, tomorrow I'll go on. It'll be $250. Watch. Mark my words, universe.
Well, it's easy to make up the $250 than the $350 or whatever.
Or $375. And that's, I'm like, $375 is an awful... It's a great deal for this guitar, but no. And then the universe drops it down to $300. But still, no. I gotta be an adult about this, Lou. What's going on with you, Lou?
What do I want to talk about? So the CIA used and still does, I think. Probably sure. Once you're CIA, right? Once the CIA, they're always CIA. Mike Benz, I don't know if you know who he is. He makes the podcast rounds. I believe he's a former intelligence person.
Okay.
Again, I don't really trust people like that because I feel like once you're in that, like, I don't know if you ever, it's like,
Right, you're always in.
Exactly. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Exactly. But he gives a little kind of history. This is on the Danny Jones podcast. You can see it under Danny Jones clips on YouTube. Gives a little history starting back with Afrocentric music.
Wait, Afrocentric?
They did things to, like, they would go and take people like Louis Armstrong and stuff to different African countries to try to get them to get interested in American,
in the Western kind of
thing. You know what I mean? And,
Ricky.
They were always sponsoring concerts in front of the Berlin Wall. There's the story about the song "Winds of Change." A lot of people say it was actually written by the CIA.
Right.
He talks about, in more recent years, different hip-hop things and everything that got released in different South American countries. They were very obviously, trying to whip up a certain political sentiment. It's a dirty game.
Is it?
It's really a dirty game. We're gonna talk about the Plasmatics in a few minutes, and I think that is even more disgusting of a thing. But we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But yeah, it's an interesting. Each one is like 10-minute clips or whatever. I don't want to. There's really not too much more I can say about that. But I don't know how that's really surprises anybody, right? Given everything that has been coming out.
Well, I remember the whole Scorpion CIA controversy, conspiracy, and I actually listened to it. It was a 4-part podcast where they deep dive. The guy, like, when he just dug and dug and dug, he interviewed CIA agents, and they were a little iffy. He interviewed everybody he could think of, DJs, and then finally he went and interviewed Mein Klaus. I'm like, well, yeah, go to the freaking... You can just get a... Mein Klaus. And I'm like, you could have, like, avoided this whole 4-part podcast just by going to him. And mine's like, I heard a little bit about that, but No. He goes, I wrote the song because it was the end of, the Berlin Wall was coming down. And he's, no, there's no sound. I'm like, wait, I spent 4 hours just to have him go, no. And then mine said, he goes, but let me ask you something. Are you ready to rock and roll? And I said, yes, I am ready, mine. Thank you. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. I do remember that whole controversy. The CIA wrote that song to bring down the USSR.
But no, it came down after.
Well, yeah, that's true.
After that, like
yeah.
I whatever. I don't. I thought it was like
whatever.
I'm
just saying.
So this is a little more. So
yes.
There's a kind of a
Yes. I'm waiting with bated breath. Look.
It's never going to come out if you keep doing that. I'm never going to be able to talk about it if you keep doing it. So, there's a whole thing about manufactured music. Spot of artists, artists that are like not really, that are kind of disingenuous. Like, some of the, for instance, like there's some controversy, I'm making air quotes, like around Billie Eilish.
Yes.
Because, like, they sort of, her and her brother sort of like put it out there that, it was like this organic thing and just making music in our bedroom or whatever. And it turns out that's really not what was going on.
Right.
And over the, you hear this all the time. So a band, there was a band that was, that formed in 1978. It was formed by Rod Svensson. Rod found this woman. Her name was Wendy. Well, I don't know what her real name is. Let's see, what is her real name? Is her real name Wendy Williams? Wendy Orlean Williams. That is her real name.
Sure.
And Wendy was a sort of lost soul.
Yeah.
But he built this band around her called the Plasmatics.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was considered what they did. She would come on stage wearing nothing but shaving cream.
Yes.
She would take a chainsaw and cut a guitar.
Yes.
A Les Paul in half.
I only hope it was a fake one.
No. There was no fake Les Pauls. They would sledgehammer television sets.
Sure.
So this is a whole, like, a kind of like anti-capitalist kind of thing, which they used to make money hand over fist.
Right.
So that's what was one thing that irks me about. But anyway, so they were not. This is one of those bands. It was not like an organic band.
Right.
It was
people
built
met
around
each other and
right.
Yeah,
it was. This wasn't like four guys hanging out in their garage.
You know what I
mean? Would start working on music and kind of grow up together or whatever. Wanted to be in a band together. They weren't like Rush or even like Led Zeppelin, who like those guys met through the studio scene in London or whatever. Right. This was manufactured. There was a band in the 70s that was a offshoot of the Sex Pistols. The Sex Pistols manager, I believe, created them. They're called 66 Sputnik, and they were another one of these bands that like it was all about. What's the word I want? The ethos. Is that the word I want? The sort of, the concept. It was all about the concept.
Okay.
The Plasmatics were a concept band. They didn't make they weren't a band. They weren't like the Beatles that made concept albums.
Right.
They were a concept band,
yeah.
all built around this concept, the sort of like, fuck capitalism kind of message. However, Wendy did kind of shine. She was a charismatic
Yes,
person.
she was.
She was a kind of a lost soul. She was like kind of a messed up person.
Yeah.
And this kind of gave her some direction in her life for a while. Gene Simmons was really into her, and he wanted to do an album without the Plasmatics.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing. You don't go on tour and smash all this stuff every night,
right,
without money being behind it. There's no way you do that. I mean, it was just too expensive to do that. So there was money behind them, obviously. Yep. It really wasn't kind of like what it was sort of portrayed to be. And anyway, so why am I bringing this up? Because this was on Guitar Meets Science channel, And he doesn't. I'm giving it what I think is. I'm giving it my sort of take on it. He gets into a more just straight up documentary, of kind of the Plasmatics, what happened. But she did unalive herself.
Yeah.
Eventually, she left. And when the band broke up in the '80s, she did kind of retire, and she lived with Rod Svensson, their manager, and she did stuff like she worked for animal shelters and stuff like that. She was, but she left a suicide note, and said that this just she did what she was doing, just could not recreate the sort of excitement
that the band did,
that she had with that period in her life. She was kind of like,
if she was still with us, what would recreate that excitement for her? Being our third podcast member,
or being your girlfriend.
God,
I think you need a Wendy O. Williams.
Oh God.
Is
there a Wendy out there?
There's a Wendy Williams. Isn't she on? Black chick that does.
The talk show.
Yeah, there you
she's dude. She's kind of messed up too. I mean that in a nice, loving way.
Why? What's messed up about her?
She has some mental issues that she's dealing with. Yeah.
Here, let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
Wendy Williams, talk show host.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, you can just tell by that picture.
She's
61, dude. She's like
she's
your
right
age.
in my ballpark.
Yeah.
Oh my. Think she has money left? She could be my sugar mama.
That was huge for a while, guys.
What, Sugar Mamas?
The daytime talk show. We grew up during that. Phil Donahue, dude. He was a pioneer of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so check out Guitar Meets Science, kind of like documentary on it. These are like these 17-minute short documentaries. It's not going to 4-hour breakdown on it. It's not necessary for that. But yeah, I just like people rip on Boston because they're this wasn't really a band and stuff like that. But I don't think they ever really tried to hide that per se. Oh man, I watched a documentary on Brad Delph a few weeks ago, about a month or two ago. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but he ended up being a really messed up dude. He had a lot of problems. He had a lot. I don't think that you off yourself unless you got some serious kind of issues. Like it isn't like you just don't. Although those meds, the serotonin uptake inhibitors, SRIs, they are linked with suicide. Like Ridley Scott says that's what happened to his brother Tony. Like Tony, he said, was never suicidal, but he went on those, and he says, and people have said this, like you'd just be driving down the street and go like, I think I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, it messes with you. It affects some chemicals, but also affects some other chemicals.
Some people have a reaction
off,
to it. What was the thing that people would take? Was that the thing for smoking? And they said might cause suicidal.
Chantix? Was it Chantix?
Yeah, they said it might cause
suicidal.
No, it's the stuff for acne. Accutane.
Accutane.
Yeah, and they may have even pulled that off the market.
Wow.
Like, dude, man, there's some wacky drugs out there. It's like, watch yourselves. Be careful.
Yes.
What do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
Hey, no.
Yins know me.
No, do you know an actor by the name of Michael Berryman?
Absolutely.
I knew you would.
Absolutely. Like, that man has, the hills have eyes.
Thank you.
That man has the one of the craziest looking heads.
Exactly. He was in Weird Science, Devil's Rejects. He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Berryman has a very unique look. And the first time I ever saw him in anything, it might have been One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I'm like, wow, look at the makeup. Look at the makeup on that guy.
Yeah, he doesn't need any.
He doesn't need any. So I caught a little snippet of maybe a TikTok or something where he was at a Comic-Con. Sweet guy.
Yeah, no,
what
he's
a
very
nice
gentle.
guy.
Yeah.
And so a fan came up and they started talking and she filmed it. And I did not know this about him. So maybe you've heard of a place called Hiroshima.
Yeah.
World War II, first atomic bomb being dropped, and of course afterwards they sent American scientists and doctors to Hiroshima to study the effects. Guess who one of those people were? His dad.
Wow.
His dad went in, and it was still very radioactive.
Do you think that's why he's...
That is exactly why he looks like that. He said, yes. I forget what he, the condition he has, but basically
fucked up head.
Basically, his head was, like when you're born, your head's not fused. Yeah. His was.
Into like a crazy point, like Conehead. He almost has a Conehead head.
Exactly. So
crazy eyes, crazy nose, crazy ears.
Yeah, big ear. Yeah. Big googly eyes.
He almost looks like that thing from the Goonies.
Almost. Almost, yeah. But when he was born, they actually
You can live with me now.
But when he was born, they actually had to cut his skull because it you want the skull to like form and everything like that. But that's why he has that very unique appearance. But again, he was such a sweet guy, and he was very open and honest with this fan of his, and it was just really incredible. And he talked about how he got into... He didn't want to be an actor. It just kind of happened because of his looks, And I just thought that was real. I did not know that about him. He was actually kind of a byproduct, of Hiroshima and the radiation and what his dad was subjected to. It was very cool. But Michael Berryman's still with us. He was born 1948, so you do the math because I don't want,
1498.
1498. And but it's very cool, very cool. It was really nice to see Bill came in halfway through our Plasmatics. Bill Damiano. Sorry, Bill. There's something in my iced tea, Bill. Bill came in. He goes, I came in after you started the story and I'm so lost. So I wrote, I'm actually here and I'm lost. So there you go, Bill. But thanks for watching, Bill. Oh my God.
I'm trying to find the guy's name. You would know him. If you
Chuck Woolery.
He's an Asian American stand-up comedian. Always wears a suit. Very, very dressed. Very, very well.
Yeah. I know.
I think I always thought he was Japanese. Like he was Japanese.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't find.
Okay,
he shows up on my
stupid
Facebook,
internet.
He shows up on my Facebook reels all the time.
Yeah. But now when we actually want to mention him,
now I can't find him.
Brother.
I'm gonna say, was he Japanese? Let me take a look.
Okay. If only there was some way in our hands we could.
I'm trying to because I want it because it
I know
relates
you're
to
right.
what you're saying.
Okay. I'll just have a little drinky poo of iced tea. Iced tea. It's good for what ails you.
You know who's still around?
Who?
And making hilarious jokes is Henry Cho.
Yes.
He's the guy that would say,
right?
He says whenever we played Cowboys and Indians, I always had to play the cook. Yeah, I'm not finding him.
Oh,
no, it's not Bobby Lee.
No, not the Bobby Lee.
And Bobby Lee's Korean. I am not. There he is.
Okay, who?
Stephen Byrne.
Oh!
Byrne. You know what I'm talking
Stephen
about?
Byrne, yeah.
So he said that they went to see the movie Oppenheimer.
Okay,
family,
sure.
And he said that he was telling his mother, yeah, we're going to see the movie Oppenheimer. She goes, oh, we were there. We were there. And he goes, what do you mean? You've already seen the movie? He goes, no. She's like, we were literally there. She said, she said, your grandfather, before the United States dropped the atomic bomb, they dropped leaflets saying,
right.
you should leave.
Yeah.
We don't really want to kill everybody, but we got to try to end this war, so y'all should get out of Dodge.
Yes.
And so she said that, your grandfather was not stupid. Also, he realized that the war with the United States was absolutely stupid. Like, there's no way. And I'm going to tell you, there's a really great reason why Japan could never have won anyways. I'm going to tell you that in a second.
Okay.
But She said your grandfather knew, like, we need to leave now. Fleeing,
get
very
out.
quickly fleeing. And they took what they could, and they said there was the mountains, and there was caves, and they went and hung out in the caves for a couple of days, and they heard the blast and everything. When they came out, there was literally nothing.
Nothing flattened.
Nothing. It was all gone.
Wow.
And yes, that's the only reason he's like, that's the only reason I'm here, because my grandfather
was smart enough to
smart,
go.
Yeah,
we need to leave.
We're leaving now.
Yep.
And they knew the Americans weren't screwing around.
No.
But what Japan, where they screwed up, was they picked a fight, but they did not. Japan doesn't have any oil.
Yeah.
They had to rely on oil being shipped in, and what ended up happening was their supply lines got cut. There was no way they were ever going to win that stupid war. They were just like kind of a nuisance. They refused to quit because the emperor was supposed to be divine or whatever, and you never, they had this whole crazy, there was. They heard the stories of people years later finding some lone Japanese soldier
still
on some
fighting
island,
the war.
Thinks the war. So they can't believe that that Japan ever surrendered or anything like that. It's it's in any case, this is just a kind of side note, but cool stuff. Speaking of Michael Berryman and the atomic bomb, and we just went everywhere on that.
We sure did.
So let's talk about the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. This is the sort of featured article for today. So this is from the Village Vault on YouTube. So let me give you some interesting facts about this thing. So this was the very first Halloween special ever. Halloween was like the only Halloween TV events were like on a sitcom, they might around Halloween they might
hand out candy,
or somebody might have a store-bought Halloween costume on or something like that. Right. But once this hit, it showed the networks that people are interested in Halloween-centered entertainment on Halloween. And so one of the things that happened was, one of the running bits in the show, first of all, it's only 25 minutes long.
Right.
Is that every time they go to a house to get candy, Charlie Brown gets a rock.
Yeah.
So kids felt so bad that they sent candy to Charlie Brown.
Aww.
Yeah. They sent candy to Charlie Brown.
One little jag-off, though, sent him a rock in the mail. Terrible.
Vince Guaraldi did the music. He recorded the music all in one day, 1 8-hour day. Composed and recorded. It was boom, done. That he brought his trio. I think he had a trio. I think it's piano, bass, and drums. And they went in and busted that thing out in one freaking day.
Wow.
It premiered in Canada on Canadian television 1 day earlier than it did in America, which is odd because it was an American thing. The Peanuts strip, I don't believe, ran up in Canada. In Canada, exactly. So it was kind of a strange thing. I'm not sure why it did. 2 Emmy nominations. And this also showed the networks that animation could be like art,
yes.
And it is a really sweet tale. It has nothing in it that is embarrassing 40 years later.
Right.
There's nothing in it that where you go that didn't age well. There's literally nothing in it like that, and yet it's smart and funny and sweet and touching. You know what I mean? He never had to go into anything that was even the remotely edgy. It's just really interesting. It fit perfectly. It is canon. It's considered canon. Yeah. In the Peanuts daily strip.
The universe.
Yeah, the Peanuts universe. It is. The Great Pumpkin has reoccurred. Some of the events in there reoccurred. Snoopy being the fighter pilot.
Right.
All that. It was high. So one of the things that's kind of unfortunate about it was bought by Apple.
Oh.
So it ran for on just free broadcast TV
right.
for decades. And then in 2020, Apple TV bought it. and now you can only see it on Apple TV. Or you can go. I'm sure you can go find old DVDs
old DVDs or
out there of it,
VHS.
Yeah, exactly. Linus actually does believe in the Great Pumpkin. They don't portray him as like crazy or anything. It's just a kind of belief, and that's one of the themes in the thing. Is like sometimes you believe in something, but it just doesn't work out.
Right. Yeah.
It's a kind of, it has some kind of like, he doesn't talk down to kids. Like all of us got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You remember watching it as a kid? Yeah,
exactly.
We loved it. And the Christmas special, I think, though, is the pinnacle of
the Christmas tree.
of the television cartoons for holidays.
Yeah.
But also the other thing was that Halloween was just not really thought of. It was just, and so this really went a long way to making Halloween kind of what it is today.
Yeah.
With it being like, with all the sort of people. My neighbors down the street here have had Halloween decorations up, I think, since August.
Yeah.
And it's credited with kind of kicking that off, that like, no, this is like a, this is something that people are really interested in, and it did so well that it inspired all the other holiday things for Halloween. So I just thought this was really interesting.
That's kinda cool.
Watch the Village Vault YouTube channel on it. It's not super long, just 12 minutes, 15 minutes, like that. He fills in the details. He uses great cuts and sound bites and everything from the show. You should check it out.
So you say it holds up, right? It holds up. You know, Lou. You know what doesn't hold up when you talk about Halloween specials? And I just happened to catch this the other day on one of the TikTok or YouTube, and that would be the Paul Lynde Halloween specials. Did you remember watching those at all?
I've seen clips.
Yeah. Now, for those folks who don't understand, Paul Lynde was a comedian, mainly famous for being on like the Hollywood Squares. He would always come up, they would ask a question, you'd have to, the celebrity would answer, and then the contestant would have to decide whether or not that answer was correct or not. And Paul Lynde would always have these like one-liners. I remember one question was, Paul, if a man falls over on a ship into the ocean, you yell, man overboard. What happens if a woman falls overboard? And Paul Lynde goes, you yell, steam forward. What was it? Forward full steam, which was pretty funny. But Paul Lynde was not a variety show or very good variety show host. And I saw a clip or two just the other day, and I'm like, and it's so funny because like he would do these little one-liners. Like, he was talking about being a kid and he was overweight. And the way the delivery was, when I was a kid, he always talked like that. When I was a kid, I was fat. And like a couple of laughs from the audience. And I'm like, that just doesn't hold up. It's just not funny at all. He goes, Halloween, all my brothers and sisters had costume from the 5 and dime. Right there, it's dating it. He goes, my mother would just give me a shower curtain, and it didn't fit. I'm like, oh. No, so that does not hold up.
Born June 13th, 1926, died January 10th, 1982, an American comedian, actor, game show panelist, character actor with a distinctive campy and snarky persona that often poked fun at his closeted homosexuality.
What?
Lynde was well known for his roles as Uncle Arthur on Bewitched.
Yes.
And the befuddled Father Harry McAfee in Bye Bye Birdie, as well as a regular center square panelist on the game show Hollywood Squares from 68 to 81. He also voiced animated characters for 5 Hanna-Barbera productions. And
that's right. Yeah, his voice was used a lot. Yeah.
Yep. He regularly topped audience polls of most like TV stars and was routinely admired and recognized by his peers during his lifetime. Mel Brooks once described Lynde as being capable of getting laughs by reading a phone book, a tornado alert, or seed catalog. Lind once said that while he would rather be recognized as a serious actor, we live in a world that needs laughter, and I decided if I can make people laugh, I'm making a more important contribution.
True. His one-liners on the Hollywood Squares were absolutely
I loved it when people would call on him.
Amazing. Yeah. You'd be hoping, you're like, please, Paul, pick Paul Lind, you know? Sometimes
he would chime in anyways.
Yes.
You know, just to mess with other people. You know, it was funny. Funny as hell. What else you got?
That's about it, man.
Okay. So, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Do you know the notes?
Do I know the Muffin Man? Do I know the notes?
Do you know the notes on the guitar?
Yes. Like, do I know this is an E, this is an E flat, this is an A? Yes.
Do you know, like, where, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can find all the C's.
Sure.
You can find all the G's.
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, so this is something that, like, I wanted to kind of give everybody a little shortcut because a lot of guys are just sort of playing stuff. And they don't really know anything that they're doing. They're just sort of playing. So I'm gonna give you one thing because I'm not gonna, you know, because we can be all right. A more important thing to know, other than beyond the notes, the next level, if you will, is to understand the relationship of all the notes to each note to every other note.
Yeah.
But they're not going to talk about that today. What I want to do is just kind of give you a quick thing, and this is how I learned the notes. I did not learn this from a guitar teacher. I learned this. I figured this out on my own. So first of all, there's a huge hint. The sixth string and the first string are the same. They're in different octaves, but they're the same note. They're both E.
Right.
Okay. And so you can figure out as you go up the neck the notes on those two strings just by going up the neck. You have to understand a couple of things, though. First of all, you've got to understand that the frets are laid out in half steps. Some people call them semitones. I learned that as half steps. It's the same thing. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, D, E. Sorry, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Okay?
Yep.
And so if you know the notes on the first string, you now know all the notes on the sixth string because they're the same note.
They're the same.
Now, what I want to talk about real quick is how we can use the bar chord, the main bar chord, the E-shaped bar chord, to help us.
Okay.
So, in that shape, the root note, the note that names the chord, occurs 3 times. It occurs on the sixth string, it occurs on the first string, and it also occurs on the fourth string. It's played with the pinky. It is 2 frets higher. So, using your understanding of how the neck is laid out in half steps, semitones, whatever, you now can quickly or easily figure out all the notes on the fourth string, and how they relate to the notes on the sixth and the first string. So this is going to give you, and why this is super important is because this will start to put you in line with where the root notes are for any given chord. And what the root note is, it is the home base of the chord. It is the note that names the chord. So the root note for an E chord is an E note. The root note for a G chord is a G note. The root note for an A chord is an A note. For a C chord is C. D is D. And if you know your bar chord, you now know 3 notes right away, automatically. So if you're playing somewhere on the guitar, refer to your bar chord. You won't need to do this forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a way to kind of like start to break you into learning what the actual notes are. This is just a kind of like first step if you will. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about. We'll get in future podcasts. I'm going to get a little deeper into it, but I just wanted to kind of give everybody a kind of weigh in, because there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I know I can play, like guys that can play like a lot of like intermediate cats that can play solos and they can do things like that. They got some technique and everything, but they don't really know what the hell they're doing. So it's super important to start there with kind of getting a sense of the notes. From there, we want to get a sense of how the notes relate to each other, and we'll talk about that on future podcasts.
Cool.
But that's all I wanted to do for today. Is just kind of give everybody just a quickie how to sort of break in. You're going like, how do I figure out what these notes are? This is an easy way to do it, and it doesn't require any music theory, and it doesn't require you to read notation.
Right.
Just a kind of backdoor way in. So let's talk about some movie shit.
Okay.
I watched a couple of movies this week.
Okay.
I watched this. This is the worst kind of bad movie.
Oh, no.
This is from 2021. It's called The Stairs.
Uh-huh.
The best thing about this movie is that John Schneider, yes, from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard, John? Okay.
And
there he is.
Kathleen Quinlan are in it. They are.
Wow. Okay.
They are both in it, and they are the absolute best thing about this movie. This movie, one of the reasons why I say this is one of the worst kind of bad movies is because it actually has it has some cool ideas in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people may or may not know this. If you look at if you ever follow any kind of stuff on YouTube, and I've seen other stuff. I've seen history kind of channel stuff about people go into the woods and they find a random staircase.
All right.
Just in the middle of the woods.
Right.
And it seems odd at first, but then once these things are kind of investigated, but they find out that many years ago, somebody had a house there.
Okay.
And all that's left of the house is a staircase.
Okay.
It's a staircase. And it's not super common, but it's common enough that it is a kind of phenomenon.
Sure.
So that's the sort of setup for this. There's a random staircase found in the forest. And in this, it isn't just from some old house that fell down. It has a kind of, spooky, thing around it. Cool idea. And there's some other cool things that this woods where this is located are kind of haunted. And they run across people that are might be ghosts kind of playing out terrible things from their lives.
Uh-huh.
So there's some ideas that are creepy and but the execution is just not good. It's just not well. It's just not well executed. It's frustrating. It's this could be a really cool idea. It's just unfortunate. And Kathleen Quinlan and John Schneider are only in it for they're just in it for a few scenes. They aren't the main stars. The other thing that's really terrible about it is the characters, other than those people, are so unlikable.
Ugh.
They're just
yeah.
You're it's literally one of those movies you really can't wait for them all to die.
You're rooting for them to die.
Yeah, you're rooting for them to die. It's just
kill him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say that this is a massive skip. It's got a 4.2 on IMDb, which is really not that great.
That's not that good.
It's not really that good. Although it has some accolades from a couple film festivals. I can't imagine why. I just thought it was an absolute piece of garbage.
No.
and it's one thing when a movie is bad, but it's so bad it's entertaining.
Right.
What I mean? This is this kind of it's not long, but it kind of feels like a slog because it's not real good. And this is funny right here. David S. Hogan plays Agitated Man.
Ooh, that's his best role. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's typecast. I
Yeah,
feel.
I know. And there is some gore and stuff. It could be. It's like it's one of those movies that's really frustrating. It's a totally missed opportunity. I forgot about this. I'm going to add this right now.
Okay. All right then. No.
So, this is a movie that I saw a few years ago, like when it came out, and I rewatched it. I've been wanting to rewatch it. I believe it's a Netflix original.
Okay.
It's called The Ritual. It was based on a book by Adam Neville, and I've read a couple Adam Neville books. I did not read this one, and I liked them. I thought they were really good. This movie is way better than The Stairs. This is actually a pretty good movie.
Okay.
It's not perfect, but it is pretty good. These 4 friends, it actually starts out as 5 friends, end up taking this trip through, I'm trying to figure, Sweden.
Okay.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Through the woods in Sweden. They do like a hiking trip.
Mm-hmm.
And because sort of like in memory of their friend who was killed.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you the whole setup. We're not going to get into all that. And it is they encounter like this kind of cult inside these woods. It's Lovecraftian. There is a kind of ancient god. There's a cool creature thing that happens. Adam Neville has written some books that I really liked. I've read a couple of them. I thought they were really good, and I think this is a solid horror film. It's pretty good. So if you've never seen it before and you're looking for something different, and I like the fact too that it doesn't really fall neatly into any. It's not a slasher.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a vampire or a zombie or anything like that. It is they really this is something different. So you have to really give it props. It's well made. It's made as a serious film. It's not campy or cheesy or anything like that. It's done as a serious kind of story. And I think that it definitely does create a really intense sense of dread as things start to happen to him. Yes, there's a little pacing things in a couple places where you might wish it would go a little faster. Some of that though we have to chalk up to the fact that what's happening is everything is speeding up for us. We're doing terrible things to our brains, like looking at TikTok and Facebook Reels and stuff, and we want that quick. What I mean? So this is one you have to. Some of these, some movies you're better off if you can come into it and just stay calm. You know what I mean? And just allow the movie to kind of wash over you without a need for constant,
gratification.
Yeah, I can't remember. It might have been Martin Scorsese, or it might have been Francis Ford Coppola talking about how modern horror films are there's a climax every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's that's not how the
desensitized.
It's not. People haven't. If you watch older films, they don't work that way.
No.
But so this is much more like that.
Okay.
I also watched. I love this movie. The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
And it was a little sad because of what's going on with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was written and directed by Luc Besson. And it's crazy. It's over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who's in this. Gary Oldman, Bruce Willis, Ian Holm, rest in peace.
Yes.
Mia Jovovich, Chris Tucker, Luke Perry, rest in peace.
Yeah. There's Brian James.
Yeah, Brian James is he's in with Harrison Ford.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, he's in Blade Runner. He's in a million things from us growing up. But this is very wacky, cartoonish, intentionally like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like a live-action kind of cartoon. It's over the top. The CGI, I think, is intentionally done to look kind of outrageous.
Right.
And,
I think you're right, yeah.
Surreal. The character played by Chris Tucker. So, an interesting fact about this film, Ruby Rod, played by Chris. That was written for Prince.
I think I may have known
That was written. That was written for Prince. Luc Besson wanted Prince to play that, and when Prince looked at it, he was like, "Absolutely not."
No, Prince is way too cool for that.
Yeah,
shit.
I'm going to look like a moron. It's going to make me look absolutely stupid.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. John
Neville is in it. He was in the Adventures of Baron Munchausen. And a bunch of other things. Tom Lister Jr., who's in a bunch of things. You'll recognize his face. He's in it. It's really good. Gary Oldman is such a chameleon. He plays Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
You know, he's British, but he lets us play as an American. Like, you can't tell. Like,
he played Sid Vicious.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Sid and Nancy?
That's right.
Wow. Yeah, very cool.
He plays Zorg in this. Let's see if we can get a quick filmography. He's in Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
He's done so many. Look at
He's
this.
done so many movies.
He's in the Batman. Yeah, he's Commissioner Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah. He's in the He's in the Planet of the Apes movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's in RoboCop. Yeah,
I remember him, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That was
that was a good movie.
Yeah.
He's in a Harry Potter movie.
Of course he is.
Do you remember? Shit.
I remember shit
with Lena Olin. Romeo is Bleeding.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that.
Yeah. Oh, he's in Hannibal.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the guy with the screwed up face that Hannibal Lecter chewed his face off.
Yep.
You know, like he's a complete. Like I said, he's a total. Oh, he plays Dr. Smith in the Lost in Space from 1998.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
He's in Air Force One.
Dude,
he's in the Scarlet Letter.
He's everywhere.
He played Beethoven in Immortal Beloved. I mean, that's right. He's in JFK. Plays Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK.
Right.
He's in a million things. Like he's just such a great actor. I just you know he's a total like treasure. It's like
yes,
just
we need to keep him safe.
Yeah, we can't have so. Now,
yes,
Star Wars Theory did a video this week. We're gonna wrap up with this. On George Lucas's choice to start Anakin's story out as a little boy.
Okay.
That annoyed a lot of people. There's a lot of people that didn't want to see that. They were kind of thrown by that. So what did you think of that choice when you saw The Phantom Menace?
Starting his story as a little boy, I really didn't give it any thought. I thought it was kind of a natural thing. Like, okay, let's start at the beginning.
What Lucas was doing was trying to show how love and goodness and everything can become corrupted.
Okay.
And that is really what Anakin's story really is. You know what I mean? And it, when he gets to the Jedi Council, they say, because he has this sadness over his mother, that they wouldn't train him.
Right.
So, so this is something that like always bugged me about that. Because, okay, first of all, where they went to Coruscant. They went to the Jedi thing. They're obviously rich. Padme, obviously rich. Nobody said, let's just go back to Tatooine and buy Annie's mom's freedom.
Bastards.
Why did nobody ever just go and do that? Like,
right?
It just like when Yoda says that, I'm like, what? Like, y'all aren't going to go back?
There's a fix. There's a solution to this.
There's a very easy solution to this whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that whatever he was that was holding her as a slave, like, he cared about money. That's all you had to do is find some way to get him some money. Like, remember when Luke, when Han blows up rescues Princess Leia.
Right.
They give him all that he needs to go pay Jabba the Hutt.
Right.
And they were in a rebellion at that time.
They
and
still
probably
had the money.
Resources were probably tight and everything, and they still had the money to go do that. So, they at this time when they're like in good times, what's happening? Jimmy Walker. But so when things are going, like, they couldn't have just gone back to Tatooine and got her.
Yeah.
Like, there was,
Man,
I felt that was something they did because the story needed it to happen.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought that was kind of a plot hole. Did that never bothered you? Never thought about it?
I never even thought of it because I just went with the flow. But now,
I've seen the
now
movies.
that I've heard it.
Well, the thing of it is, too, like, I've watched and rewatched those movies so many times. And, and without, this is the last point I'm going to make about it. After the sequel trilogy came out, I appreciated the prequel trilogy way more. I was like, because sequel trilogy is an abomination. Disney just
shit the bed.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they had no idea what to do with that. They have gold mine that they just wipe their ass with. But anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. Check out Lou
Oh, come on.
.innercircle.com. Come hang out with us in our Facebook group. Don't forget to go to rockrageradio.com. Check out Rock Rage Live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Every Monday night, because we hang out and do that. And don't forget Music from the 412, because we're on there as well. So we're going to come back here. Those of you listening on Rock Rage on Sunday morning, we're going to come back in a few minutes and play some music. Mr. Pittsburgh.
As always, come visit me on the TikTok at Pittsburgh Kevin on TikTok.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great week, and those of you that are having Rock Rage, stick around, and everybody else will catch on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
See ya!